Assassin's Promise by Thomas Woodward. Chapter 94. Calian waved to a serving girl. He sniffed the aroma that wafted out from the kitchens into the common room of the tavern he had ducked into on his way to the keep. The sign had depicted a painted woman tossing a coin into the air amid several splashing tankards of ale. Calian loved the spice-red ale that they served in Caliapos. It was imported from tiny desert villages along the frontier, and was worth its weight in gold, in his humble opinion. Calian could discern the subtle flavors that mixed together, and picked out what must be a hint of cactus. The bite it gave was pleasant, and did not overpower the other flavor notes. Draining his tankard with a final swig, he tried to meet the eyes of the pretty young woman, who was making rounds on the bustling taproom floor. Idly, he worried he had lost his touch. He looked over to the raised floor, forming a miniature stage at the end of the room. How he wished they would at least play some music. The cheery murmurs of conversation were about ready to drive him mad with boredom. Looking up, the serving girl had returned, giving him a wink that he did not doubt was only for show. "What'll you have then, sir?" She gave him a quick once-over. Calian felt like he was being quickly appraised, and perhaps came up lacking. Giving the woman a roguish grin, he replied, "Another round. And what have you got in the kitchens? I can smell a heavenly scent coming over, or I'm the king of the billowing isles." He gave her his best smile, and she blanched, a terse look coming over her. "Another round, then." Giving him a withering glare, she sped along back towards the kitchens. What had he done to deserve the welcome he was getting? He would have thought he had insulted her father for this kind of reception. Perhaps he had worn out his welcome when he had left years ago. But gods! The women here were worse than a team of angry wagon drivers that had been shimmed out of a deal on feast day. A man in a heavy vest gave Calian a hard eye as he rounded the bend, before exiting out the front doors of the tavern. Something stirred in his memory. Maybe he had been here before. A loud clatter of plates in front of him alerted him to the sharp-eyed serving girl. "You sure that's all you'll be having, sir?" She gave him a look of pure venom. Looking down, he realized his family coat of arms was emblazoned on his chest. He had been here. The memory dawned on him. As a young man, he had dallied with a tavern keeper's wife. She had been a full span of years older than he, and her husband had chased him out of the inn with a pitchfork. Slowly raising his eyes to meet the serving girl, he recognized the similarities. That would make her the daughter. Quickly backing up from the bench, Calian dropped a few coins as payment and backed away further towards the door. "You sure that's it, then, good sir?" There was a wicked glint to her eye. "Why not have a go before you leave?" She held up a knife in an all-too-familiar grip. Calian tipped his hat and made for a hasty exit. Other regulars were starting to get up. "Jenna, has that lout tried something?" Angry mutters followed, amid other benches being pushed back. Calian didn't wait. Jenna held a dark smile as he turned and fled. Well, that hadn't exactly been the reception I had been hoping for. Calian grimaced to himself. Turning onto another street, he remembered the tavern keeper's wife. A fine flame of a woman she had been. Calian smiled, singing a tune from The Hunt of the Hare and the Lady Fair. Mestur, the eternal master, had written the play when he was a young man, searching out his fortune in the world. He had been taken to the far coast, and went as far as the leech-ridden Gulf of Anax, before traveling the ghostly billowing isles, which were said to be halfway between this world and the next. He had returned a changed man, and had went on to create the majority of his works in the years after his travels. On the Heights of Nightfall was perhaps Calian's favorite of all. It told of a love-lost couple, straining to see one another across an impenetrable gulf. The enchanting music Mestur had set to the play tugged at Calian's soul.